Welcome back to my digital diaries. In today's episode of Frontend Developer course, we continue our React series with one of the most powerful feature every developer must master, and that is React hooks. Hooks change the way we build components by giving function components the superpowers of states, lifecycle, and reusability, all without writing a single class. So stay tuned as we break it down with a simple explanation, real examples and best practices you can apply immediately. If you are new here, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So let's start today's topic, React hooks. Let's start with the basic question, why hooks? Why hooks were introduced? So before hooks were introduced, React mainly used class components. Now I'm showing here a two example which shows the logic to toggle the features in dark and the light mode. Both are doing the same thing but different way. In the class version, this is the class version, we need a constructor. So we have a constructor here. So if you see, this is the constructor. So we need a constructor. We set up this dot state here and we write a separate function to update it. Whereas in the hook version, everything becomes much simpler. The line of code also got reduced. We just use state. You see this is a use state inside a normal function. So this is a function and this is a class, and that's it. That's how you will use the hooks. So if you see how much difference there in the class and the normal hook, the function component. Okay, now let's talk about what are the problems here in detail. The first one is class component were complex. The biggest problem is the complexity. Class components come with a lot of rules. Using these binding methods and writing a constructor and handling lifecycle methods like component did mount, component did update, even a simple task feels very heavy, very complex. And when you add multiple features to one component, the logic gets scattered across different lifecycle methods, which make the file harder to understand. So this is one of the problems which class component gives. Then the logic reuse was difficult. As I mentioned, the logic is scattered among the different components. So reusing the logic is very difficult. Developers had to use pattern like higher order components or render props. These patterns work, but they often lead to deeply nested code or too many wrapper components. It becomes messy very quickly. Hooks solve this by allowing us to move reusable logic into a custom hook, which are just simple functions that can be used anywhere. And the third problem is the readability issues. You can see with the example itself. It's very easy to read the hooks in the functional component than the class component. In class component, related logic ends up in the different places. Setting up something in one lifecycle method and cleaning up it in another. When the logic is split like this, it's easy to miss something and bugs can creep in. Hook fix this by allowing related code to stay together. State, effects and cleanup can be written in one places, which makes the component easier to read and much simpler to maintain. So in short, hooks were introduced to make components easier to write, easier to reuse and easier to understand, and that is why hooks become the preferred way to build React application. Now that we understand the challenges with class component, let's look at what hooks actually are and how they solve these problems. Hooks are simply function that allows us to use important React features like state, lifecycle methods and context directly inside a functional component. Before hooks, these features were only available in class components. Hooks open the door for functional components to do everything classes could do, but in cleaner and easier way. Now let's see how hooks solve the problems we talked about earlier. The first benefit that is that hook allows functional components to manage state and side effects. With use state, we can add state to a component without writing a class. And with use effect, we can run side effects like fetching data, subscribing to events, or maybe updating the page title, all inside a simple function. This removes the need for lifecycle methods like component did mount or component did update. The second benefit is logic reuse through a custom hooks. If you have some logic that needs to be used in multiple components like form handling or maybe API calls or setting up a timer, you can move that logic into a custom hook. Custom hook is just a normal function that uses other hooks, and it makes your code cleaner because you avoid repeating the same logic everywhere. The third benefit is cleaner, shorter, and more testable code. Hooks allows you to group related logic in one place instead of spreading it across different lifecycle methods. This makes components easier to read and maintain, and because hooks are functions, the logic inside them becomes much easier to test. Now, hook also comes with few important rules that we must follow. Let's look at those rules. The first rule is that hooks can only be called inside a React function component or inside a custom hook. You can't call them in a regular JavaScript function or inside classes. The second rule is that hook must be called at the top level of a component. That means no calling hook inside a loops, conditions, or nested functions. This helps React keep track of the order in which hooks are called. And the third rule is that hooks cannot be conditional. You must call them every time the components render. Following these rules ensures that states and effects stay in the correct order and work properly. And finally, to sum up everything, hooks simplifies state management, remove class-based complexity, encourage reusable logic, and make React components cleaner, faster, and much easier to maintain. Now let's look at the different types of React hooks and understand what each of them does. State hook. These hooks help functional components manage state easily. Before hooks, only class components could store and update the state. With use state, we can now handle component level state inside a simple function. It keeps the code clean, modular, and much easier to understand compared to the older class-based approach. Next, we have a context hook. These hooks allows components to access shared values without manually passing props through every level of the component tree. Using use context, any component can directly read values from a context, which makes state sharing across the app much simpler and more direct. Then we have effect hooks. This is the third type hook. These hooks handles the side effects such as API call or maybe subscriptions, timers, or updating the DOM. Use effect give us a clean and structured way to run code when a component mounts, updates, or unmount. It replaces multiple lifecycle methods and makes the logic easier to manage. Performance hooks. As name suggests, so the performance hooks optimize the performance. So React provides a hooks like use memo and use callback to optimize the performance. They help avoid unnecessary re-renders or recalculation by memorizing values or functions. This is especially helpful when working with a heavy computations or when passing functions to child component. After that, we have a resource hooks. These are usually custom hooks created by developers to manage external resources such as fetching data from an API. If you can take an example like a hook, which like a use page can handle making API call, storing result, and managing loading or error state. This keep data fetching logic reusable and clean. And finally, we have a custom hook. Custom hooks are user-defined functions that use built-in hooks to create reusable logic. Whenever multiple components use the same behavior, you can take an example like handling forms or maybe API calls or theme switching, we can extract that logic into a custom hook. This improves the code organization, reusability, and readability across the project. So these are the few main types of React hooks. Each one has a specific purpose, and together they make a React functional component powerful, flexible, and easy to manage. Now let's look at some common syntax patterns for the most widely used React hooks. This will help you understand how these hooks are generally written and how they fit into a component. In our next video, we are going to take actual examples of hooks. So this slide will explain you just a pattern, the syntax. First, we will see a state hook. The syntax for use state looks like this. This hooks returns two things: the current value, this is state, and the setter function. To update that value, you give it an initial value and React remembers that value across the re-render. So that is your state hook. And then you have a effect hook. So this is a syntax for a effect view. So you see here this function, you are returning something and it is depending. It has a dependency. So it let you run a side effects like API call, timers, or any logic that needs to happen when the component updates or loads. The function you return inside a use effect is optional and it handles cleanup such as a removing event, listener to listener, or cancelling timers. The dependency array controls the when the effect should rerun. Okay. Then we have a context hook. Context hooks allows a component to directly read values from a context. This means no more passing properties through a multiple component just to share a value. So this context can be accessed from any component. Then we have a reference hooks. If you see, this is a reference hooks. You have a reference name, a use rep, and this is the initial value. So the reference hook use rep is used to store a value that survives re-render without causing the components to update. It's commonly used to access a DOM elements or store mutable variables. Then we have a memo hook. So this is the example of a memo hook. Use memo is memorize a computed value so React doesn't recalculate it on every render. Now if you see here, it is computing the value function is there. Okay. So this helps improve the performance, especially when the calculation is expensive. Then we have a callback hook. It works like use memo only, but for a functions. So it ensures the same function instance is reused until the dependency is changed, which helps to prevent unnecessary re-render in child components. And then we have a reducer hook. This hook is a great when your state has a complex logic or multiple transaction. So instead of updating state directly, you dispatch actions similar to how Redux work. These are the general syntax pattern for the most important React hooks. Knowing this basic make it much easier to understand how hooks behave inside a real component. And we are going to see a few hooks, top 12 hooks in the next video. So top 12 React hooks we will see with example why it is used, when we will be using it, and that brings us to the end of today's session on the React hooks. Now you understand why hooks are such an important part of modern React. They make state handling easier, help you to manage side effects, and keep your components clean and reusable. In the next video, we will look at the top 12 React hooks you should know. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, share and comment. Drop your questions in the comments, and if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel and click on notification bell. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.